what he ended up doing was bringing more ridicule to his wife. First of all, comedians are still insulting Jada. It's not going to stop people from still cracking jokes.
As punishment for slapping Chris Rock, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences has banned Will Smith from attending the Oscars for 10 years. But is that a punishment? He can still be nominated and even win an award. He can even go to the after party. He just doesn't have to attend the 4-hour ceremony where someone is definitely going to make fun of his wife again.
We can't but not talk about Will and Jada. Will and Jada Smith and the incident that happened on March 27th at the Oscars night. The Oscars, which is supposed to be the pinnacle of movie making.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your...
And of course, Will Smith went on to win what people would consider the most prestigious award of the night, Best Actor. He went on to win for a movie that he did, I think it was King Richard.
King Richard, yeah.
What were your first thoughts when you saw that? I don't know. Do you watch the Oscars out of curiosity?
Okay, so I don't watch the Oscars anymore. When I was younger, I used to watch, but these days I think they've kind of lost their relevance, to be very honest. I think a lot of people knew that the Oscars were happening because of the slap.
Yeah, I agree.
So I actually had no clue that it was happening. I heard about the slap the day after with some of the YouTube channels that I follow, and then I went to find out what happened. I'm like, oh, the Oscars happened. So when I initially saw the clip, just like you, I thought it was staged.
I did.
But
too.
at the back of my mind, I was thinking, why would the Oscars stage something like this? This is not the BET Awards. This is not MTV VMAs, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the Oscars. They don't do things like this for clicks and views. And then secondly, what would either Chris or Will be getting out of it? Like staging something like this? Why would they agree to it? And then lastly, there's no way that anyone would ask two Black men, given the racial context in the US, there's no way they would ask two Black men to stage something like that. It would be two white men, right?
Yeah.
There's no way they would do that for two Black men. So I concluded very quickly that it was definitely not staged. But it was shocking, honestly.
Initially, I thought it was staged, but then it wasn't until he went back to his seat and he went,
keep my wife's name out your...
That was when I was like, oh, we just witnessed a meltdown. That was what happened. We just witnessed a meltdown. And there's a lot that had happened up until this point. Again, if you're living under a rock out there and you don't know about the Jada and Will entanglement situation, here's what happened.
You need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes.
I've always been a fan of Will Smith. I've been a fan of his movies. At some point, I think he was the highest paid Hollywood actor. Like, his movies drew attention. He brought audiences to the cinema, and he was seen as this guy that had it all. Tall guy, good looking, beautiful wife, kids. Like, he had it all. And he had this clean image of himself. Even back before he became an actor, when he used to rap, he never cursed in his raps. He was always the clean rapper.
No scandals.
No scandals. People loved this. People grew up on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I loved it. Everyone loved Will. Everyone wanted to be Will. All the women wanted to be with Will. All the men wanted to be Will. And he was just a really decent guy, funny guy, charismatic. So to see, him being in this marriage that people have looked up to for so long, and you start hearing all these sordid details of their marriage, about it being an open marriage. And that wasn't all. There's been other stuff that Jada has come out to admit she has this red table talk.
My grandmother taught me about self-pleasuring because she wanted me to know that that pleasure was from me.
Exactly.
She didn't want me to fall into the hands of a man, and if he gave me pleasure, to think that that was him. And she taught me at 9.
Emotional, damn it.
And I'm playing these clips for you to show that there've been a lot of revelations about them, hence why there's been a lot of ridicule thrown at them in the last couple of years. And the narrative that some people go with is the fact that they feel like Jada Smith has emasculated her husband in many ways by a lot of these admissions, and has pretty much put his family on Front Street and exposed them in ways that you wouldn't expect a loving wife would expose someone's family and someone's secrets. So I think a lot of this ridicule is what led up to that night. And I don't think it was the joke that Chris Rock gave that necessarily, put Will Smith over the top. I think it was an accumulation of all this ridicule that has been directed at his family, that on the night that's supposed to be his biggest night, he didn't want to hear it. And I think that's why he lashed out. It doesn't justify it. I think it was wrong. I think it was messed up. Some people have tried to justify it by saying he was protecting his wife. But that flies in the face of the fact that his wife has done so many other things that you would think it doesn't warrant protection. Now, that's neither here nor there. The fact remains is that what Chris Rock did that night did not warrant being assaulted on a stage with millions and millions of viewers. But I'm curious what your take is on this so far.
Yeah, I think honestly the whole debacle just shows you how degenerate Hollywood has become. And it just makes it really obvious that these people are not to be placed on a pedestal for the rest of society
for sure.
to look up to.
Sure.
Because for people to, stand up and applaud someone who literally just assaulted someone else on stage in front of them,
Shameful.
this is not something you heard of. This is not something someone told you about. You just saw it happen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, I could give them a pass that maybe at the beginning, they like everybody else, they thought maybe this is staged. Yeah. But at the point when they saw Will Smith losing his head and yelling expletives at the stage, they would have known that, this is not staged. You see Lupita Nyong'o's face?
She was shocked.
And she wasn't shocked, right?
And for sure, the producers definitely knew that this was not part of the script. They definitely knew. So the fact that he wasn't even walked off the stage, I thought it was it was pitiful.
I did see a report that said from the Academy saying that they actually did ask him to leave, but he refused. But I mean, that's just
so I heard that
you are in charge of the show. If you ask someone to leave and they don't leave, then you compel them to leave. Just because if they said no, you're like, oh, please could you leave? Oh no, sorry, okay, cool.
I mean to really put it in context, Lady Eve, it might as well, imagine this was a workplace assault. This is the Oscars. This is part of their job.
They're co-workers, essentially.
They're co-workers. Imagine someone walking up to another person at work and slapping the other person. They would get escorted out by security. And
and then imagine HR tells you, oh, we asked him to leave and he said no.
Imagine.
I mean, what is that?
So I heard something about that story about him wanting to leave. So what it sounds like is that they did want him to leave. They wanted him to leave, but they checked with the producer, who's Will Packer. He happens to be the first black man to produce the Oscars. They checked with the producer, and the producer resisted. The producer claimed that he had gone to talk to Chris Rock, and Chris Rock had said he doesn't want Will Smith to leave. But you don't. That's not who you go to. This is about keeping standards here and keeping protocol. You don't
rules, code of conduct.
Code of conduct. But I think this also speaks to just how dysfunctional Hollywood has become. I think the end result, going back to this Chris Rock slap, I think the end result, some people have justified it by saying that this was him wanting to protect his wife.
I disagree absolutely.
What he ended up doing was bringing more ridicule to his wife. First of all, comedians are still insulting Jada. It's not going to stop people from still cracking jokes.
As punishment for slapping Chris Rock, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences has banned Will Smith from attending the Oscars for 10 years. But is that a punishment? He can still be nominated and even win an award. He can even go to the after party. He just doesn't have to attend the 4-hour ceremony where someone is definitely going to make fun of his wife again.
He's brought even
I think Dave
more of a
Chappelle is probably going
spectacle.
to talk about this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Because comedians, they rally around each other.
Yep.
What he's pretty much done the opposite of what he wanted to do. They were saying he was trying to honor his wife. No, this is going to bring more dishonor to his whole family. And I think that's unfortunate. I think in a sense, Will became the joke that night. He was the joke, which is why I was so impressed with Chris Rock not responding.
He handled it like a professional.
Class act. That. He's
In
very.
fact, they should double whatever they paid him for that hosting gig.
Hey,
They should
I
double
think it was Jim Carrey that said it. That if it was him, he would have sued that guy the next one for $200 million. I'm like, 'cause that's a serious assault in front of so many people, But I don't know, man.